Hi everybody, I'm Jungle Jack Hanna, and I'm with Victoria. You don't want to miss watching Victoria's amazing animals. It's unbelievable.
I'm here today with Jack Hanna. Hi, Jack. It's an honor to be here with you today.
Well, it's good to be here. You know something? You better not say hi, Jack, in an airport. It's funny, isn't it? Hi, Jack. Anyway, sometimes kids will do that in airports. Everybody, a soccer team, young kids out in Salt Lake City last year, they were all, about 12 of them, and I was walking to get on toward the plane, and they go, hi, Jack, like this. And all of a sudden, TSA guy was over there, the security. He goes, who said that? Well, all the kids are saying it. And then they come, who's Jack? And me. And all of a sudden, they're coming after me. Because they said hi, Jack. So you don't say that at the airport. But go ahead. What's your question?
Well, I'm really excited to see your show later, and I wanted to know, what do you enjoy most about doing them?
Well, what I enjoy most about doing shows is that I'm not talking to TV cameras necessarily like I do all the time. I'm talking to people. I get the feel of people. When I'm talking to people, I can see, sometimes I ask questions of the audience. What's your greatest concern about conservation? What's your greatest concern about poaching the rhino? What's your greatest concern of how you can help in your own backyard? I can do this when I have people there. I can't do it when I'm doing TV. So it brings me really down to earth, and I sign autographs before the show, and I ask people ask me questions, and by the time I get through 100 people signing autographs before a show, I now know how to read the audience. Many people do what I do. I'm not a celebrity, by the way. I don't like that word. I'm just a farm boy from Tennessee that loves animals. But what I do is I try and teach conservation in a fun way, if you see my shows, no matter what shows I do, local, national, whatever you want to call it, or my series. I know that I'm trying to communicate conservation to people, and I'll give you a saying I have: touch the heart to teach the mind. Always remember that, whether you're doing animals, or you're working with people, or you're a doctor, or you have a gas station. You have to touch the heart of someone to teach the mind, whatever that might be. And in conservation, we have to do that in the zoo world, and that's what I try to do. If I haven't touched these people's hearts in this audience today, then I haven't taught them a thing.
And I hear you have a new book coming out. What's it about?
Well, the one book that book was Jack Hanna, My Wildlife, I think it's Jack Hanna, My Wildlife, Jungle Jack, whatever. That book's a story about my life, but that's been out a couple of years. The other books coming out are ones that are done by another company, and I tell them my stories of growing up, story about when I raised a young tiger for a zoo when I was in business. Today we had tigers, chimps, all kinds of animals we raised for zoos. These were accredited zoos, and this was also a facility that's accredited. These aren't where you have some people raise exotic animals. They don't know what they're doing. Someone gets either hurt or killed. You don't have, by the way, it's against the law, by the way, today to have any exotic animals unless you have the proper permits. And also, one thing to remember, some people say, oh, that's so cute. I need a baby lion, or I need a baby tiger, or I need this and this. Jack Hanna might have done this, but you know something? It's not the cost of the lion. You could probably, illegally if you wanted to, or legally, I don't know what the laws are anymore. Most states you cannot do this. Ohio you can't do it anymore. Most states you cannot. But some people might sell a lion for $1,000. That's not the problem. The problem is, that's the problem, but the problem goes, where is the lion going to live? You might buy one for $1,000, but if you have a lion, it's going to cost you over $1 million to house it, feed it in the proper care. And very few people have that.
And you've been all over the world, and you've learned so much about animals, but what's the most interesting thing you learned from animals?
Well, my favorite animal is my wife. That's funny, isn't it? What I've learned is I don't tell her no. I'm just kidding. No. You asked my favorite animal, right? That's hard to say, it really is. At first, in the business, when I was just 21, 22, I was, by the way, I cleaned cages for veterinarian from 11 to 16, which I'll talk about today. Obviously, I was fascinated by elephants because the largest land mammal on Earth. Obviously, when I started raising tigers, lions, and the primates and stuff, I was fascinated. But when I've traveled the world the last 30-something years, every continent, the Himalayas, the Amazon, South America, Central America, Australia, the Great Barrier Reefs, Antarctica, North Pole, whatever, all the continents, right? When you do that, you see to yourself, there are a lot of animals that are fascinating. Leafcutter ants, for example, incredible. Cobras, incredible. I'll go down to 4-man submarine to almost 1,000 feet and see the creatures down there, lights, incredible. Diving with the sharks, tiger sharks, and great whites, incredible. You see, everything is incredible. All God's creatures are put here, and they all have a function. I don't care if it's a little worm or maybe a little old piece of algae, or it could be coral, very important in the ocean. Without that, we wouldn't have any life probably. And so you learn all this stuff over the years, and it's hard. I'm not jumping around your question. I can't answer it because all of them are so important now. Yes, there's a panda. Yes, there's a koala. You'll see some of that today on the show. They'll see today a black leopard live. They'll see a mountain lion that was almost burned to death in a fire in Montana. We rehabbed. They'll see a sloth. All these are fascinating.
What's the most interesting thing you learned from animals?
Well, respect. If you respect the animals, I'm not into reality TV. A lot of these shows, I won't say the networks, have biting and they reenact things. That's not what we do. We have a comfort zone of our camera crew and a comfort zone of the animal. When you go to the wild, that's their home, not my home. And you want to film them with respect. It's a big word, and you stay at the distances to do that. Sometimes you might get close. Sometimes you don't. Obviously, you have their comfort zone. You got to know after all these years when you have a problem by crossing it, and then you have a train wreck or a very bad thing happen. And we try. Yes, if we had accidents in 30 years, of course we've had them, but we don't instigate them. And so that's the whole thing. Everyone is respect. You go to someone's house, you respect them, right? You go to some zoological park, you respect it. You go out in the wild, you respect it. And that's the whole world that'll keep you good.
Well, thank you so much.
You get a job. Maybe you can help me someday in TV.
Okay.
Okay? You done already? You know something? My daughter, I call these honkers on her. She's 40 now. Honk, 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 honk. I love those. You look just like Kathleen. Did you see my daughter dressed exactly like yours? She did my show when she was 12 years old. That's how she started. She now is one of the co-hosts of my shows. And her pigtails are just like this. Don't get rid of those, all right? Do that to about 14, 15.
Okay.
Then you do what you want to.
Okay.